Welcome back, Rugby Hub viewers. We are back for some autumn international action, and first episode of many to come. And Gwedi, I guess you are just as excited as I am. It's been a while since we've seen the Box play, and it's an exciting team we're going to see playing this weekend.
Yeah, no, look, this is a absolute heavyweight showdown this weekend between South Africa and Ireland and some other games to come. I know, for instance, that from the past five results, it hasn't gone the Springboks' way. I think it's been a decade last time where the Springboks have actually won in Ireland. Their latest meeting was also in 2017, which was 5 years ago. Also not under Rassie and Jacques Nienaber. They lost that game 38 points to 3. So it's not been looking too in favor for the Springboks. However, totally different teams. Definitely both teams are going to want to look to come out on top. So very, very excited for this game. I mean, the Springboks coming towards the end of their season, having played 8 games. They've lost 3 games and won 5. And obviously Ireland just starting their international season off against the Springboks. So, Gabsy, let's get
Yeah,
straight into it with the
Gwedi,
teams.
if I can just quickly go back to those head on heads to touch on those 3 games that we've lost. Surprisingly, I've heard that all 3 of those games we actually trailed at halftime. So that's a really early indication that the boys
That is
need to go
correct.
out and put some points on the board. On top of
Mm,
that, we haven't won in Ireland in the last decade. So we really want to go out and make a statement, world
mm.
champions against the world number one. But yeah, let's
That's
get
it.
straight
That's the
into it.
headline.
That's the headline. Yeah, Goran. So the Springbok team actually, I don't think you can pick a much different team to this, except maybe for an outside center. But yeah, I mean, I'm just going to stay with that. I just really think, we have. I'd rather give Enkufenter a chance. Anyways,
Mm,
so yeah, you guys can see on the left hand side of the screen the team, but for us, we have a couple of standout players this week. In the forwards, obviously, Peter Steftetoué again back. He has been the World Rugby Player of the Year a couple of years ago. He is a big name. And I definitely think it's time for him to step up again. There's a lot of other players also putting their hands up. Alongside
mm,
that, I also would like to point out Malcolm Marks. I think here, once again, you see kids of Marks and Maharba. It's an indication that, we want to go out, make some damage, and get some points on the board early. Really try and, get the advantage in this game because we know we don't want to go chase the game. It shows you the 3 games
yeah.
that we've
Yeah.
lost this year is all 3 games where we were trailing at halftime. So I think the boys know what
Yeah.
needs to be done. And then in the back line, Damien Willems are getting another start at 10, of course. I think we all expected that, but it's going to be a huge game between him and Sexton. I think
Mm,
both of them like to take the ball to the line, but more attacking fly-offs. I don't know how much ball the back line will actually get, but we do know that
mm,
if you give guys like Curtly Orange, Cheslin Kolbe, and Makazolo Mapimpi some ball with Damien Willems there, it could be exciting. So yeah, also other
yeah.
huge change in the backlines. Obviously, Cheslin Kolbe getting his first start for the Springboks at 15. I assume he would
Mm.
also be some backup on the 10 position. And yeah, other than that, you see a 6-2 split on the bench. So
Yeah, another
I
good
think
indication for a sort of forward dominance display that the Springboks are going to look to target.
exactly.
Um,
You take the words
yeah.
out of my mouth. Yeah. So I think having said that, you can switch over to the Irish team, and then we can talk a bit
Yeah,
about the head on
well, I
heads.
mean, firstly, I just quickly wanted to mention, I mean, the obviously Lucanio being injured, we forget what big part he plays in the Springbok defensive system. His defensive reading, I mean, is just second to none. And I think a lot of people would say that Jesse Kriel is in fact a good defender. However, I mean, in my opinion, he's a great tackler. I mean, he does make hard hits and he can tackle around the ankles, but the defensive reading that is required for the Springboks, the Lucanio is great on calling the players to fold around and when to shoot up off the line. So I think that's going to be a bigger mission. But moving over to the Irish team, they've obviously also fielded their strongest team. I mean, Andy Farrell has Sexton to rely on, which is great. What is he now? 36, 37 years of age, and still being the general there for the Irish. And I mean, look, these forwards, I mean, that's something that we said we're going to speak about is the forwards display between the two teams. The forwards play a way different style. I mean, Ireland enjoy playing with the ball. They're a possession-based team. So they really put a lot of bodies in motion on attack, and Sexton being at the helm of that. And he puts them into those little short gaps around the fringes of the ruck and also in midfield. And that's why I think the omission of is going to be an interesting one. So we're definitely going to see the Irish going to keep a hold of the ball for a very extended periods of play. And I think that's why we went with the 6-2 split, to see if we can suffocate that and actually target the breakdown, especially in the second half, the likes of Dion Fourie on the bench, Kwaka Smith on the bench, and just more power coming into the scrums with Koch and Che. So
You
so
actually,
yeah, that's going
sorry,
to be a big
but I'm
matchup.
sorry, I just wanted to add there, you actually make me realize something very important. Also, obviously, another weakness we would target, not like the Irish have a bunch of weaknesses, but the scrum.
No,
We
of course
know
not.
that the scrum is something that we would definitely look to target, and I think that's why you see this front row starting.
Yeah.
And I think we also have a very
But
strong.
I mean, Andrew Porter, there. Well, he's been suspect. Has been caught out on scrum penalties. So he's definitely going to look. Well, he's got the biggest challenge ahead of them, and
Yeah.
you'll see that the Irish they perform well against teams like New Zealand and teams like let's say Wales and so on. But when it comes to the heavy sort of forward packs, strong scrummagers, you saw it against France when they lost in France. They lost against England, also lost in the Six Nations, or maybe it was at the beginning of this year. And those are indications where they absolutely targeted the scrum, and then they kind of took the game away from the Irish. So that's going to be very big. Gabs, let's go to the head-to-heads. The first head-to-head that we actually want to speak about is the front rows. And we touched upon it now, is Tadhg Furlong and Andrew Porter going up against the likes of Frans Malherbe and obviously Stephen Kitshoff, who arguably is the best front row in the world. But that's going to be a big matchup. We're going to see if they can get the dominance. And then obviously off the bench, the Irish are going to make probably substitutes later than the Springboks, seeing that they don't necessarily have the quality of players that's going to come off the pitch like the South Africa front row has. Second head-to-head, Gabsy, is something that's also something we discussed, was Sexton against Willemse. Now, as we said, Sexton is the sort of the general, and then Willemse bringing a totally different style of game to the Springboks.
I mean, I would like to add, Joran, I think, you will see from Johnny Sexton definitely a few high up and unders in the beginning, testing our boys. He's going to definitely pull all the tricks out of the hat. Like you said, he's 37, 38 years old. He's got quite a bit of experience underneath his belt. Damien Willemse, on the other hand, yes, he's shown that he's ready to take the next step. Super exciting player. But you have seen it through the championship. He's got a complete different sort of composure to his game. He's taking the Springbok jersey on, and he's really confident. He's playing good rugby. He's playing good footy. I'm very positive that I think he's ready to take this next step and to prove to the world that if Pollard is not ready for the World Cup, he would be ready. So, super exciting matchup. I probably think that's my pick.
I think actually also, Gabs, I think Matt Williams said this: the Springbok team is like a Ferrari sitting in traffic. They've got this wonderful backline, a very exciting backline that just doesn't really get used because you have this engine in the sort of Springbok pack. But nevertheless, the one player who everyone is excited about is seeing Kolbe at 15. Now he's back from his injury, his jaw injury, and he's going up against Hugo Keenan. How influential is Kolbe going to be in loose play? I mean, the Irish definitely shouldn't kick loose towards him, because Kurtley Orense and Mapimpi is scary.
I definitely think they will test Kolbe in the beginning. He's a short guy and he's not the biggest, but don't make the mistake. He's extremely good under the high ball. He's also no newcomer to the 15 jersey. Maybe it's his first game at 15 for the Boks, starting at 15, but he definitely knows what to do under a high ball. And don't give him too much space, because he will make damage. We've seen that in the World Cup final.
Yeah, but I mean, nevertheless, Hugo Keenan also very solid at the back for the Irish. You got Balakoon with him. That's also, they can cause some serious carnage. So that's going to be a very exciting matchup indeed. Gabsy, let's look further to the rest of the games this weekend. I'm also going to ask you, since we're going head to head in this autumn series, to see who can get out on top. So the first game, well, we're just going to focus on the big four. I know that Scotland, Fiji is also playing, Italy, Samoa, but we're going to focus on Wales versus New Zealand. Which side do you see that one going, Gabsy?
I have to go with the All Blacks. I think that they will win that one. Yeah.
I think if there ever is a chance for Wales, it's now, but I can't see the All Blacks slipping this one. They've got a good track record against Wales. Furthermore, the big showdown between Ireland and South Africa.
I definitely think
Surely
it's
you're
going to be.
going Ireland.
I think it's going to be a tough one, but I definitely will go with the boys. I just hope Damien is also fine off the tee. Then everything should be good.
Yeah, my heart is definitely in this one. Unfortunately, I'll go with South Africa, but it's going to be a big, big game. Then, Gabs, France versus Australia.
I think France will take that one. Australia is in good nick. Michael Hooper being back, but I think the French is yeah. I'm going to go France.
Yeah, agree. And then England versus Argentina.
I have to go, unfortunately, with Eddie Jones and his men.
I'm going to go with Argentina. They're going to get this one done, I think. Nevertheless, to our Rugby Hub viewers, thank you so much for watching. Please go like and subscribe our channel, and also go check out the Rugby Hub Sport Instagram page. Sit on the couch and watch rugby this weekend. A lot of exciting games and more content to come next week. Gabsy, it's been an absolute pleasure, brother.
One last thing, please,
yes.
Guys, go comment your big expectation player. If this guy gets man of the match, you get a shout out. And also go comment your scores below, man, please. We will give you a shout out to the closest prediction. But yeah, thank you so much, Gordy. Right. So good to see you. Super excited and pumped for this weekend.
Cheers, Gabs. Bye.
Cheers, Gordy. Bye.